This is my third time doing this. This will be my final attempt. If it is bad in any way, I'm sorry, but I am losing motivation very quickly. Anywho, welcome back. Today, I wanted to talk about the first villain army in the realm. That army being the Empire. Now, this file will be different from the others because it is not on one specific person, but rather an entire organization/army. So, I will talk about each of the functions of the Empire like I would the powers and abilities of an individual. First, let's start with the structure of the Empire. The first thing to talk about in this category is the social hierarchy. In the Empire, there's a social ranking system. I'll read the ranks from the lowest to the highest rank. At the bottom are, well, for a nicer word, forced workers. The workers are of any race that the Empire has taken. And these workers are treated like garbage. They just do all the grunt work, like building. Sometimes they're used as testing dummies, like training dummies. But we don't talk about that for morale purposes. The next rank would be the scientists. Oh wait, no, shoot, sorry, I read that wrong. The next rank would be soldiers, foot soldiers to be exact. There are of course ranks amongst these foot soldiers, similar to the ranks of human armies, but they are merely based on strength rather than experience or quality of work. So I won't go into too much detail on those ranks. Uh, the next ranks are the scientists. These are the ones that work in the science wing. We'll go over those later. We'll go over that later. They don't have too much power over the previous social ranks, but they can still bark a couple of orders around here and there. They're also a higher rank, just so the soldiers don't attack the scientists. The next rank are the generals. These guys are the main threat of the Empire, as every general is powerful, and all of them have unique abilities and powers, making it hard to combat them. Like the soldiers, the generals have a ranking system, but these are more so number ranks, like our most wanted list. These ranks are determined among the generals through one-on-one combat with each other to see who is truly better than the other, rather than just assuming with their own power. These ranks may be deceiving to newer agents, as you think, oh, the lowest rank should be easy, weak. However, that is entirely wrong, as even the lowest ranking general can take out several human armies just by himself. These general rankings merely help the Emperor decide the order of generals for assaults. You know, use the weaker ones if you think the world is going to be if you think this assault's going to be easy. The stronger ones if you think this assault's going to be harder. Stuff like that. The next rank up is the Royal Scientist. Sorry, that was an alarm. Don't panic. This is the most trusted scientist in the science wing. And they only take orders from the Emperor himself. The Royal Scientist is also the one who orders around the rest of the science wing. Look at him as sort of the Emperor for the science wing. The Emperor for the science. Emperor of Science. I don't know what I'm saying. The next rank is not necessarily above the last rank, but rather on the same level. This rank is the number one ranking general in the Empire. However, I should say generals, as the number one spot is split amongst 4 people. Their rankings is 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and 4/4. These generals only take orders from the emperor, and can order around any general that is part of their assaults. See them as sort of the emperors of the generals. And lastly, the highest social rank is, you guessed it, the emperor himself, who is currently the villain Dark. To learn about him, see the video in the corner. It's going to pop up anytime soon. While the emperor mainly oversees the assaults and gives commands, he also does some combat himself. And when he does do this combat himself, leave it to the founders. Don't try to attack. Only field agents who have authority to combat the villain Dark is Team Alpha. If we're not in Team Alpha, just run the other way. And now, with the social ranks out of the way, we can move on to the wings of the Empire. With the structure of the Empire's main building, there are 2 wings and 1 center building. Each section has a different purpose. The first wing is the science wing. You heard me talk about it earlier. In this wing, there are 4 branches. Like wings, like wings inside of a wing. These are the mechanical, chemical, digital, and experimental branches. And each branch has 1 lead scientist and at least 1 assistant for said scientist. I will go over what each branch does. However, they're somewhat self-explanatory in their name. Excuse me. In the mechanical branch, the scientists focus on the maintenance and building of the machines used in the Empire, like their cloning machines, their stasis machines, and the darkification machines. The head scientist is the general, actually, whose code name is Mecha. If you agents would like, I could do some files on the head scientists, but for now, just know that each has optimized powers and abilities that revolve around their branch. The assistant for Mecha is simply codenamed Assistant. The next branch is the chemical branch. This branch is much smaller than the last one. However, it serves just important of a role. The chemical branch deals with unstable and strange chemicals and diseases. They find ways to weaponize these chemicals and diseases as well. The head scientist for this branch is codenamed Plague. Similar to Mecha, he'll get his own file later. The assistant to Plague is a boy codenamed Prodigy. The next branch after that is the digital branch. This is the smallest branch with only 3 workers. These workers are the head scientist, codenamed Error, and his 2 assistants, codename Bug and Fault. These 3 are data keepers, like me. Their job is to sort of organize and keep the data that they've collected safe. And all their data is kept in the digital branch. So if we ever do a large grand assault on the main building, keep in mind that you might want to go for the digital branch first. The last branch is the experimental branch. This is where all the inventions, meetings, and testings take place. This branch is run by the royal scientist himself, Dr. William Dimitri Gastro. People usually refer to him as either Dr. Gastro or just Dr. G. And something very fun, his assistant is actually one of our spies. And is also the daughter of the founder, Red. For classified reasons, I am not allowed to say her name, but she is very important, as she has leaked the blueprints for some of the machines we have mentioned, or I have mentioned in the previously in this file, and they have helped HU a ton. But with the branches out of the way, we now move on to the second wing of the Empire, the military wing. This wing does not have any branches, but it has multiple purposes. This wing has the training grounds for generals, as well as housing space for each general. Each one has their own custom room, as there are many different species in the Empire, and all need their own environments to thrive. And if you're wondering what's happening, where the foot soldiers live, they live inside this one giant room that they just call the barrack. Lastly is the center room, the third section. This has the throne room, and attached to the throne room is the Great Hall. The throne room is where the Emperor resides, as well as the four number one generals. 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4. In this room, large meetings are held amongst the generals and the Emperor. Sometimes the royal scientist is there, but not every single time. With the physical structure out of the way, and the social structure out of the way, lastly is the goal of the Empire. The Empire serves Dark, and Dark seeks to destroy worlds and turn them into some form of power generator, causing the Empire to grow in both strength and size. Well, the reason Dark is so power hungry, turning other worlds into generators, well, the reason is still unknown. Only the founders really know. But OT still must work hard towards stopping Dark's progress, so that way we can save as many worlds as we can. And with that, we have reached the end of File. There's not much to say, as this was a pretty detailed file. So I don't have much on post-file commentary. Sorry if the mic quality is bad. I can't do another take. I do apologize. Anyways, with all of that out of the way, I will see you on the field. Brian, heading out.